kingdom's true savior wasn't the princess in glass slippers, but a silent while the kingdom prepared for a grand ball, polishing glass floors and fluffing silk curtains. Elira knelt among roots and vines, far from music and laughter. She wasn't invited, she never was. The gardener's daughter, orphaned and quiet, belonged to the soil. As she whispered to a patch of struggling violets, they began to bloom, bright and strong under her fingers. Her magic was gentle, invisible to most, but ancient. Elira, while nobles twirled in chandelier's glow, Elira found peace in her secret garden, tucked behind the west wing. A place her mother once showed her, before vanishing without a trace. There, moonlight touched petals that never wilted, and the wind whispered in languages forgotten by men. But that night was different. The garden trembled, and a voice, low, ancient, not quite human, called her name. Voice whispering, "Elira, the blood of green hands, the seal is breaking." From between the trees, a figure stepped, tall, robed in shadows that shimmered like frost. Wherever he walked, grass froze, and yet the flowers did not wither. He watched her, not with menace, but with 1,000 winters behind his eyes. "Stranger, I was bound here long before your prince was born. This garden was my cage, and now it lives again. Because of you. Elira, why me? I'm just a girl with dirty hands and forgotten roots." Stranger, with a faint smile. Elira's hands trembled as she opened an old journal hidden in her mother's chest. Entries written in a flowing script she barely recognized. Her mother had known. The garden was more than beauty. It was a seal, and its breaking meant something terrible was waking below the palace. Elira, reading aloud. "To awaken what lies beneath is to risk the breath of the world, but to ignore the whisper of roots." As Cinderella lost her slipper and ran from the stairs, the ballroom floor cracked, not from panic, but from what stirred underneath. Roots burst from marble. Elira ran toward the palace, pushing past panicked guests. No one saw her before. Now, she was the only one standing between the kingdom and ancient ruin. Elira, to herself, "I was never meant to dance." In the heart of the chaos, Elira knelt and planted one last seed, one her mother had hidden away. It pulsed with light. The spirit, watching from the garden's edge, stepped forward. "Stranger, are you ready, Elira? Once it grows, you'll carry its memory forever." Elira, resolute, "Let it grow. I'd rather remember truth than lie forgetting." And the seed bloomed into a silver tree of light that quieted the tremor. Days later, Cinderella found Elira beside the new tree. She sat quietly, brushing petals from her lap. "Cinderella, they all talk about me, but I remember this garden. I remember you." Elira, smiling softly, "Not all stories need glass slippers. Some grow slow and deep." Elira never wore a crown. But in the years that followed, the kingdom's greatest treasure wasn't the throne, it was the garden. A place of quiet magic, of listening, of roots. Children learned her name, and when they asked about the girl who saved them, the story began not with a slipper,